So Erik Wolpaw did an interview with Penny Arcade, the website that does a bunch of comedy video game related stuff, and he just very slightly mentioned the following statement. Between our cross-median Great Greatsby franchise planning, the Aperture VR demo, TF and Dota updates, plus a bunch of unannounced Valve projects, we're keeping pretty busy. Now, the Great Greatsby was a reoccurring joke throughout this interview, as Erik Wolpaw is one of the best comedic video game writers there is. But that little line there, a bunch of unannounced Valve projects. What could those be? Well, we could go over all the things that we actually know Valve is working on. Here we go. So without focusing too hard on these unannounced Valve projects that Erik talked about in the Penny Arcade interview, let's just go over all the different things that we actually know Valve is currently working on. Starting with the big three multiplayer games, let's just get this out of the way. Team Fortress 2 is going to be getting competitive matchmaking, Team Fortress 2 is going to be getting an Alien-themed update at some point, and Team Fortress 2 will not be getting ported over to Source 2. Sadly, this has been confirmed. There's going to be a separate video detailing a little more in regards to the now known future of Team Fortress 2, now that we know that Source 2 is not in its cards. Dota 2 is going to be continually updated to be completely natively ran on Source 2. You can run Dota 2 right now in both Source 1 and Source 2, and the Source 2 is considered a beta. It will take a very long time for the Source 2 version of Dota 2 to be considered the main version, and Valve will be working on bug fixing the game as completely as possible, as that version of the game is the defining version of the game. Counter-Strike Global Offensive will probably be the one getting a Source 2 port, now that I know that Team Fortress 2 is not getting that port, so that is going to be the future of that game. We know that Valve is going to be porting at least one or two other Source engine games to the Source 2 engine, and the most profitable Valve games will be the ones considered first. So with those out of the way, what else do we know that Valve is working on? First of all, VR. Valve VR, Steam VR, so the Steam VR dashboard being released very recently, and the HTC Vive coming out in full release by the end of this year. Valve is pretty much putting all of their focus for the rest of 2015 into getting the HTC Vive out to the public and making the software the best it can possibly be. Along with the VR headset itself will obviously be the other things that come along with it, like Lighthouse and the motion controls, and it all coming together to create a very amazing and immersive gameplay experience. Valve's also working on completely revolutionizing the computer-based hardware market with the Steam boxes, the Steam controller, and now the streaming game Steam Link. All of these things are set to come out very shortly, and some people already have the Steam controllers in their hands. Yes, some people seem to have problems with the Steam controller, as the revolutionary new way to control is really just a laptop touchpad on a video game controller, but exactly how Valve implements that controller is still yet to be seen, as the controllers are still not widely available for the general public to use. But also implementing the Steam controller and the Steam box and Steam OS once again is another thing that Valve is pushing a lot of focus on. So the people that watch the channel and think that Valve really hasn't been doing anything isn't true at all. Valve hasn't really been doing anything in terms of new games that we know of yet, but we do know that a lot of software and hardware work is being done within Valve to be able to revolutionize the video game marketplace. So it is very possible that when all of these different things are finally fully implemented in the way that Valve wants them to be, all these other unannounced Valve projects will finally have the grounds to be able to be released. What are some of these unannounced projects? What are some of these games that we don't know for sure? There are a couple of games that we know about that Valve hasn't officially announced, and this is essentially what Erik is saying. There are a lot of unannounced projects, not unknown projects. And there have been a lot of different things pointing towards other games that we have discussed about before, like the Left 4 Dead Source 2 pictures seen within the PowerPoint presentation, and the Jira mailing list leaking out to all of the public so people could see all the different work groups and mailing groups that Valve has been doing. This list, when it leaked, showed all the communications between all the different members of Valve that were working on different projects. Some of the things had to do with recreational activities, some of the things were just complete jokes, but within this list were a lot of unannounced and unreleased things that we had no idea about, and a few of them that we did, like F-Stop, Episode 4, and The Crossing. However, within this list was a couple of games that we pretty much know is being worked on, but further confirms its development, especially Left 4 Dead 3. The next Left 4 Dead game seems like it will be the next Valve game, and the Left 4 Dead segments of this list are the largest. There are actually 3 separate groups working on Left 4 Dead 3 when this list was leaked, and this list was leaked back in 20 2013. It is very possible that a lot of the things seen within this list have been canceled between then and now, and it is very probable some of them have been. It is a very good look into what Valve was doing at the current time. Now, Half-Life 3 only had one group within this list, but so did F-Stop and Stars of Blood, and Episode 3 had its own list, along with one called Episode 3 Movie. So whatever Valve is working on that is unannounced at the current time probably has to do with one of the things in this list, or multiple things. It is very possible that what they're working on behind the scenes is the next Half-Life game, it is very likely that it's the next Left 4 Dead game, and it's also very possible that it's a game that we don't know about yet, like a new IP, that could very much show off the capabilities of Valve's future endeavors, like Steambox, SteamOS, and Steam VR. But whatever it ends up being, please know that Valve is actually working on things, not just hardware and software to be able to play other people's games on, but actually new Valve games themselves. Those are being worked on, don't worry. So thanks for watching, guys. As you know, I'm Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. If you want to watch my live streams, which I do all the time, mostly, sometimes, go check out my second channel, Valve News Extra, where I upload all my recorded streams, and pretty soon there's going to be a lot of separate Valve-related videos that will only be going up on that channel. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good day. Adios.